So fellas, I finally got the heads back for Doughboy's LTD LX. So I lapped all the valves this morning, and now I'm putting a sleeve in the pushrod tube because I broke through on the pinch, you know, like the first inch or so into the port. It wasn't an accident. I just wanted to try to get everything out of these heads I could. So I'll show you the process. Real quick. It's not hard. It just takes mostly initiative, and then just having the tools to do it. You know, like you got to have like brass tube you can get at Amazon or Ace. You got to have a way to cut it. You got to have a way to like get all the burrs off and all that. It's not terribly difficult. It's just takes a little bit of effort. We'll get you started on that. What I show you. All right, so right there you can see where if it'll focus, there we go. A little awkward trying to hold this while bent over, but so to speak. Anyway, so that's where it comes through. And I think I had mentioned in one other video about these, about using a half-inch brass tube. But I forgot, in Ford's wisdom or whatever reason they chose, there's a step down there. So the top part, you know, going in from the top is a half-inch, but the bottom, to go in from the bottom, you need a 9/16. And so this will fit in there real nice. What I do is clean out the hole real good. Use a drill and then a sanding roll on an arbor to get it real cleaned off, and also gives the JB Weld something to bite into and adhere to. This little focus is that's the number of the tube. It's a 9/16, 14 thousandths wall. It's real thin. It ain't gonna interfere with the push rods. They do get close, but it's not enough to worry about. So I just cut it in little sections. I didn't measure them. I just put them through here and then cut off, you know, what was sticking up. This one's a little longer because it's been tight, and I might have to hammer it in once I get the JB Weld on it, and then you know, cut off if it's sticking up too high. That's it. I mean, essentially, like I said, it'll goes in. You know, you got to push it in, and then that'll be in there. Let me get a little light in there to help you, but I probably have to tap it in the rest of the way. But you see how it fits in there, and that'll seal it off. You put JB Weld in here too and seal it off so it ain't getting any vacuum leaks, and you are set. So I'll do another thing on these heads when I get everything cleaned up and get the springs and valves in and all that. All right, appreciate y'all. Later on. All right, fellas, so it's the next day. The JB Weld is set up overnight. You can see that's what it looks like. The tube installed, the JB Weld just little in there to seal it up. And then I take this thing with a fine cartridge roll on it. I think it's like 100 grit. You can use whatever you want. And then that's what it looks like after it's sanded down. You got to be careful because that tube does stick up a little bit, and because it's 14 thousandths wall, it is thin. If it typically I had used before a copper tube like that goes onto this joiner, and that sticks up pretty far, but you can kind of tap it down to make it flat. But with these thin tubes, the 9/16, you don't need to do that. You can feel it. You run your finger across, you can feel just a little bump, but it's not enough to worry about, to me. So that's it. That's done. So I got to knock out the other ones and then get the heads all cleaned up and then put them back together. All right. Well, like I said, we'll have an update on the Doughboy heads with the springs installed and all that when I get all these wrapped up. All right. Appreciate you. All right, guys. Sometimes when you do stuff, you have a screw up, and that's what I did here. On this tube here, I didn't push the tube all the way in, so I had a little gap down here at the bottom. Can't see it now because I pulled the old tube out, and all I got to do that is put 9/16 drill. Even my old cordless drill, you know, you just started drilling, and it's brass, thin brass, so it comes out easy. And I got about halfway into it, and it pulled the whole sleeve out. So real easy. Cleaned it out again. I'm fixing to hit the JB weld. I got another tube cut. I made this one a little longer, and for guys that aren't comfortable with wing and stuff like I am, 1.33 inches is what I used on the other ones, or thereabouts. And then one sleeve is enough to do 2 heads. So because I had 2 sleeves, I had to break out the other one. So get one sleeve, you know, from Amazon or Ace or wherever, and Hobby Lobby might even have it, I'm not sure. But it's like $6, $7, $8 for one sleeve. And then like I said, one tube at the store will be enough for 1 or 2 cylinder heads. And I also did on these heads, I'll probably cover it again when I cover the heads, is the res bond. This stuff to fill in the EGR port. Takes a couple applications because I just put another coat on there, because when it dries, it shrinks up, and then you get like gaps around the perimeter. You can see a little one right there. I'm not worrying about that because the exhaust pressure is coming from this side, and that'll have the flat of the intake against it anyway, so it ain't gonna get nothing on it. And I packed some 000 steel wool, so it's probably like halfway full of steel wool, and then put caps of the res bond on either end. That's it. So I'm gonna, hopefully this will be the last video on this segment, but like I said, it's just trying to make the most out of these heads, kind of working with antiquated systems. These are first designed, you know, for the 302 or 289. Well, actually it started in the 221 in the late 50s, like a truck motor, but we're still running them and still having fun with them. That's the main thing. All right, appreciate y'all. Later on. All right, so I'll wrap this up. I got that last sleeve in. I did find that the drill, the 9/16 drill, works real good to push that sleeve down all the way. And if you're going to be porting Explorer heads, you measure at the pinch there. You can go like 1.03, 1.035, 1.04 probably is the most you want to go before you'll start getting you'll see like a little depression almost in the metal. That's where that metal's getting too thin. It's starting to break off. So I think on the Vincent's car, even with that small cam, I think I did 1 inch at the pinch, and it still made like 320 some at the wheels on Johnny's dyno. So, and that's with Explorer, ported Explorer intake, ported Explorer heads, 1.7 rocker arms, long tubes, and then the small cam was like 218, 230. Street cam, it still gets really good mileage, and runs good and all that. So that's my suggestion. Do whatever you want. It's your stuff. Or you can hog it out till you get to 1.06. I think it's where like it's just the metal is totally gone. You got a big hole in there. Some people will tell you filling that or going that far ain't gonna add any extra CFM. I don't know. If I had a bench, I would prove it one way or another, but I don't. So, and as far as I know, that lady over in Mississippi still got Coulter's old bench, but I just ain't got room, and I don't want to. If I bought that thing, I would definitely not be doing a whole lot of anything else. I'd be on that all the time. But anyway, I think that about wraps it up for now, and we'll get this loaded up and then get started on the heads, put them together. Appreciate y'all. Later.